Hey, what's up, all you YouTubers out there? What's up, TIs? It's Anthony Cruz coming to you again from Northern California. Tonight I'm staying in Oakland. Yeah, they got pretty much just, my life's really just disturbed right now because these fucking gang stalkers are just always on my ass everywhere I go. They're hitting me all day today, like wherever I stopped. I mean, they're pretty tenacious, and let me tell you why, okay? Just so everyone knows. I'm going to show you the video last, okay, and you can reference it in one of my videos that I had posted, one of the later ones, like one before this one. So, first moved into this house, right? First, you got to appreciate the situation for what it is. Irene Salas, who owns the house, her father in 1967 built a 2-bedroom, kind of like, he worked for the concrete company, so he built like this underground unit underneath his property. Okay, well, it took to just recently, till like 5 years ago, where the city wanted to do a walk-in their house. They found it was made in 1967 and without permit. That's the year they started requiring permits. So her house was distressed and she had to sell it under duress. And she lost a lot of money because the value of the home was highly depreciated because of the situation. But long of the short, come to find out that the planner department, a guy named Jacob Rodriguez, not Jacob Rodriguez, Jacob Rodriguez. He works for the Santa Cruz Planning Department. He's the one that purchased the house, and he was the one that muscled her out. I've never seen anybody in the planning department come and cut the meter off, the gas meter. I've never seen that in my life. It was just, so my boss even had asked him if he can get the contract, you know, because I was staying there and helping her out. And Jacob told my boss exactly, his words were, nobody's going to get this, no one's going to get this permit. So he had, he had preemptively had some plans going on, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is, okay, so I come to this house, I moved into this house in Salinas with understanding this pretense, okay? Well, I started hearing voices like early on while I lived there. And I would ask Irene if she heard anything, and she said that she would hear music like oldies coming out of the vent. Well, two different spaces, because I'm talking underground, she's talking up high. And so it was kind of weird. Well, let me just say that once I acknowledged the voices, because I was about to get high one time, I was just rolling me a joint, I heard a girl say, he's about to get high. And I said, yeah, damn right I'm about to get high. Who the hell's talking to me right now, you know? And I said, I don't even care who's talking. Just so you know, if someone needs to come over to my house tomorrow, I'll be before noon and introduce them. So let's make it 2 o'clock. I said, and before 2. Just let me shake my hand, let me know you're going to do something about the noise. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you guys got going on down there. However, if that's not being done, then I'm gonna figure it out. Okay, that's what I told him. Well, 2 o'clock, like a little past 2, a big M80 went off in front of the house, and when I went outside, there was a dude walking from the middle across the street, into the house straight across the street. And I said, "Hey, man," he never even turned around. Same gentleman. A few months after that, I went outside to my car, and he was standing on the other side of the bush on our property, up our driveway on the other side of the bush, and I think that's how he stole my biosphere code. Because I said the same thing, "Hey man, what are you doing, dude?" And he just continued to walk away into his property. And he doesn't hang out there much. But I always get this weird vibe, you know? And I believe that that's how he did it. Long or the short, I ended up drilling some holes in the concrete, okay? The first hole I drilled, I had video. I sent a scope down there, and it showed empty space. It showed a big enough space to where like 6 or 7 people can stand up underneath my room. Spooky, huh, right? So yeah, I drilled through the concrete, 14 or 18 inches thick concrete. And so basically, I left the house and I went to Santa Cruz. And upon my arrival at Santa Cruz, no lie, like 10 minutes after I arrived in Santa Cruz, my phone was stolen. I was so pissed. I was like, shit. So I had already called the police department, and spoke to them and let them know that there's some anomalies going on underneath the house. So I left a message because I want to talk to the chief, but I was giving the voicemail. The night commander did. So the next night, the night commander called me back. Our evening time, and he's like, "What's this? Going on? You called us?" And I said, "Yeah, you didn't get my message." He's like, "Yeah, I didn't have a chance to listen to it yet." I'm like, "Well, maybe you should after we get off the phone." But long and the short, I had some really hard evidence, but my phone was stolen last night. So he's like, "So I'm about to get some more though." So he's like, "Okay, well, what do you want us to do?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I've never really handled a situation like this. There seems to be a space underneath my house, and I've been hearing voices and stuff, and I just think that, he's like, "What do you want us to do?" I said, "I don't know, dude. I mean, I don't know. So is there anything you can do?" He's like, "Well, I'm like, dude, listen, I think there's people walking underneath our house. And he's like, okay, just get the evidence and call me back. I said, okay, give me a number. He's like, go just call 911. I said, okay. Well, I did. Okay, mind you, it was the next day, because what had happened was I went to go drill a hole in front of my bed, because when I sent the scope down there, it looked like there was an opening to this cavern or whatever, but it was offset from where my door is. It was like in the middle of the room or whatever it is underneath, and so I wanted to. So I drilled a hole in front of my bed so I could see down that hallway, or whatever it was, the opening. And I had an 18-inch carbine drill bit that was 5/8 inches, 5/8 of an inch, and basically I bottomed out this 18 inches, and I kind of felt like I gone through it, I went through, but I just couldn't send my scope down there. So I was pissed. I went to Home Depot and bought myself 22 inches, some bits. You know what I mean? And different sizes, like a 5/8, and like I don't know. There was also like a half inch, and there was probably like I don't know, like 3/4 inch or something. Well, they didn't fit my drill bit. Okay, I was so excited, and it was just can mind you, I just had this stuff the day before, the evidence, and so I went back to the house. They didn't fit the drill bit. I was pissed. But what I did buy at the Home Depot, because Harbor Freight was the next day, was a 3/8 inch piece of rebar, 3 feet long. It was just a 1 meter, and so when my drill bits didn't work, I fucking hit that 3/8 rebar into the ground that I already had drilled 18 inches in, or that I bottomed out my 18-inch drill bit, and it went down pretty quick. Like it went down 8 or 10 inches the first hit, and then it went down another 10 inches, and I couldn't pull it back up. I tried everything, I couldn't pull it, and not like it wasn't impossible, but at that point I don't want to waste more time on it. I just hit it flush to the ground. So now whatever's down there, whatever's walking around, got like a piece of rebar coming out from their ceiling. You know what I mean? So the next morning, I wake up and I go down to Harbor Freight and I buy me a $350 hammer drill, and it's a big one. You know what I mean? And so I get busy, and I'm back at the house at 11 or something, and I got the camera set up, and you know what I mean? And I started in on this hole, and you had to be there to really appreciate everything that is being said. You know what I mean? Because it's really, this day and age, no one really wants to believe that the things that are out of the ordinary, if you will. So basically, I cleared the hole with this drill bit. Okay, it took a little while than I thought, longer. Basically, I started drilling it at about 3 o'clock or something, and I was just setting up or whatever. I had a lunch or something. And so basically, when I passed through, and I knew I cleared it, something grabbed a hold of my drill bit. Now it wasn't spinning; it was in the hammer mode, so it was vibrating. And when you pushed on it, it would pop. You know what I mean? And and it's trying to pull my drill bit down. Now this is the kind of drill that I had. The hammer drill is the kind that if you push the collar back on the front of it, the bit will fall out. And possibly a great many of them work like that. The bigger ones, anyways. And so I believe that they knew this too, and I think they're trying to pull my drill bit down so it would release the drill bit, and then I wouldn't have a drill bit. But I wouldn't let that happen. So I was calling Adrian. Adrian, get over here! I was like, dude, something's pulling the drill. I already cleared it, dude. Something's pulling on this, dude. And while we were pulling it up, I said, just look, dude. I want you to know. So I said, it's already cleared, dude. There should be nothing that has anything but the weight of this drill on it. And I let it go. And he said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, dude, you see that? Someone's pulling it, dude. That drill's not. He's like, it's not that heavy, dude. He's like, what? So we pulled it out, and we got it out, and I set it down, and he ran in his room, and I'm like, that's all you got, dude, right? Well, I continued to send my drill down there, cleared the hole, and we went to go send my scope down there, and it was always hitting something. I was like, what the fuck? My 4th or 5th time doing this, and something's trying to grab it too. Something's grabbing it a few times, and I'm just like, fuck. And it's not, it's like a 70, maybe 60 pound drill, and so it's trying to pull it down. I'm trying to hold it up. I'm just like, and I'm like, and then I push back down a little bit and start drilling, and I was just like, I think I hurt one of them because like after I like went crazy a couple times, the whatever was holding it down wasn't as strong, because I could tell they were pulling it towards them too, because it would pull away from me, and it was a fucking trip, right? Like there's people underneath my room fighting with me over letting me get access to what's down there, I was fucking pissed. So basically, I had to stop. It was like 11 o'clock. I was going on it for a while. You know, I took a couple breaks, try to, like, you know, mislead him or whatever. And well, the next morning, you know what I did? Is I jumped over my bed and I went down the first hole and I fucking drilled that bitch out because it was already, you know. I didn't tell you that when I went back to the house after the first time I had the information. I'm not sure if I did tell you this, but the first hole had fresh concrete in it. So when we sent my scope down there, I pulled it back up and there was like this white, chalky, wet, like sandy, like it's concrete. And I've laid a lot of concrete in my time. So someone put concrete up from the bottom up. They didn't go flush to my carpet or nothing, but they put it like 3 inches thick. I don't know what they did, tape it or what, or put something against it, a rock. I don't know what the fuck's going on down there. But I thought that was kind of peculiar. And that's when I went and decided to drill that other hole in front of my bed. So I drilled 3 holes at that point in time, and I drilled another one sometime after, just to fuck with them a little bit. But I've struck in a chord, and I'm onto something. So my military friend, you know, he's you know, MP, and his name's James. Okay, and he'd snuck over my house. I told him what was going on, and he snuck in my room, and because he had like some rash burns from an escape going downhill or something. He just came to my house and crashed out, right? But he said he didn't really move around that much, but he listened a lot. And he said, when I got home, he said, Anthony, 1,000, because he's one of the skeptics and stuff. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, dude, I'll never doubt you again. He's like, you got some activity going on underneath your house. I knew it, dude. Okay, so check this out. Ever since that happened, I haven't been able to stay at home any period of time. They're constantly bombarding me, dude. It's like they're constantly bombarding me and sending voices to my school and making like really uncomfortable there. I get followed wherever I go. Like I went camping a few times last year, and they were there. Like, you know what I mean? And we're talking. I mean, I don't even want to get into the details about what these people have done. As far as they've never really showed themselves until the last camping trip I went on in July. I don't even go there for that's a whole different day. But let me just say this: when they showed their face, they were in numbers, and they had me running. Okay, and I ran for my life, and I never run so hard in my entire life. I was quite concerned for my welfare. But they played some games with me in my head, dude, while I was down there, and they were putting things in my head that weren't necessarily so. I don't really know how much of it is not real, as far as like the things about my family and my daughter and the mother and who her boyfriend is. I mean, it was like she's dating this dude that was like, the story that I got was like my baby's mother was dating a cop, and he had asked her like if she knew any like turds that like should be put on this list, you know, this surveillance list, this targeting list, and she'd given him my name. He's like, she's like, he's a piece of shit. Well, while I was camping, I'd mentioned her name, like thinking of the only 2 people that probably would ever do this to me would be Jacob Rodriguez, is one of the planner dude, and I said Candace Jones, and then that's when I heard the whole Candy, your Candy, and there was this dialogue going on, so I just listened, and I figured it out back then, but I'm not sure if it's like real, okay, because I'm not sure if it's this shit they just wanted me to hear. I haven't talked to my baby's mama, and I haven't seen my daughter in years because of this one reason, and this is the only reason. These fucktards. Come on in. I'll get back to you. Come on. Oh, it's not open? Oh, sorry. I don't know how to. Okay. Boom. That's right here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There. That works. Oh, just stop.
I got you this so you can.